Hi everyone, Janie here, and today I'm going to show you how to make a beautiful and easy gift bag and topper. So let's get started. I'm going to be using this beautiful Old Rose 111-pound cardstock from Paper Temptress, and this cardstock is thick and sturdy. And also from Paper Temptress, I'm going to be using the Pearl Glimmer cardstock, which is also pretty thick and sturdy and beautiful. As you can see, it has a gorgeous shimmer. And from Craft Stash & Company, I'll be using Sandi Nagel's Dainty Dreams bag topper die set that comes with 5 dies, including the bag topper die that I used to cut that Old Rose cardstock. It cuts beautifully, and that cardstock is sturdy enough to stand up on its own. And I used another one of the dies from that set to cut the Pearl Glimmer cardstock to create a beautiful trim for the card topper. That die doesn't cut across the top and is perfect for creating a beautiful edge, but I just wanted to create a piece of trim for the top. And as you can see, it worked beautifully for that. Next, I'm going to be using Deco Foil Gold Shattered Glass Transfer Foil to add some foiling around the edges. And one of the techniques that I like to use is to apply a little glue stick to the area that I want to foil and then rubbing the foil on. Now, if you are new to using foil without a machine, I'm going to link one of the videos right here on the screen, and I will also link a couple on the screen as this video is ending so you can learn a few techniques. I've been using transfer foil without a machine for over 10 years, and in one of my videos I show 7 techniques, and in my other video I show 5 more, including using the glue stick. I think a little foil adds elegance to any project, and I'm going to be putting this all the way around the edges of this card topper. Next, I'm gluing on that pretty border that I die cut, and then I'm adding some flat back pearls along the top of that, which just adds to the elegance. And then I'm adding a pretty pink paper rose. Next, I die cut Thank You using the Sizzix die set and Recollections gold foil paper. I really wanted to use Sandi Nagel's Dainty Dreams Bold Words die set, but the words I wanted to use were too long to fit across the card topper. And once I got the words on there, I decided to add 2 more of those paper roses to finish off the card topper. Okay, now let's make the gift bag, and for that I used Sandi Nagel's Dainty Dreams paper pack that has 6 different beautiful papers in it, 4 sheets of each, and I chose to use this beautiful paper. And for this gift bag I will need 2 pieces of that paper. These papers are 8 1/4 inches by approximately 11 3/4 inches, and I had to cut a couple inches off the bottom so that it would be 8 1/4 inches by 9 1/2 inches. And that leaves you a beautiful strip of paper that you can use for something else. So with the 8 1/4 inch side going along the top of the scoreboard, you're going to score at 1 inch and 2 inches, and then you're going to turn it and score the other side at 1 inch and 2 inches. And I just find this easier to do it that way. And then with the 9 1/2 inch side going across the top of your scoreboard, make sure that the end that you want to be the top of the bag is on your left, and the end that you want to be the bottom of your bag is on your right, and then you'll score at 1 1/2 inches and 7 1/2 inches. And you'll do that to both pieces of paper. And now it's time to fold on all of those score lines, and I'm folding them all inward. And I'll be doing the same thing to both pieces of paper. Here's where it gets fun. On one of those papers, we're going to be cutting out this section on both sides, and I'm going to mark this panel to make it easier for you to see. So, you are just cutting up to the first score line when cutting that section out. You do not want to cut past that score line. And once you've cut that panel out from both sides, this is what it should look like. To not get confused, the top of the bag should have the 1 1/2 inch section, and you can write top right there so that you will remember, because you won't see that later. So now at the bottom of the bag, you're going to cut the second score line from the right, and you're going to cut it up to the first score line, and you are going to do the same thing on the left. Then you're going to fold those flaps up and then fold them over just like you see me doing. And then I'm going to be adhering those flaps to the outside of the centerpiece. You may be wondering why I'm gluing them to the outside, and the reason is the way that this bag gets put together, that will be hidden from view. Now we're going to be doing the same thing to the bottom of the other piece, the piece that does not have those side panels cut out. And for this one, we're going to be folding those flaps in and adhering them to the inside of that center piece this time. And again, the way that this gets put together, that will not be seen. I hope that I'm not going too fast, and I hope that I'm making this easy to follow. But I'm going to put a link to another video right here on the screen with a tutorial that goes a lot slower, and the only difference is the paper in the other video is 8.5 inches by 9.5 inches instead of 8 1/4 inches by 9.5 inches. Okay, now it's time to put this together. I'm going to be putting glue on the edges, including the bottom of the piece that has the side panels cut out. And the reason that you need to put glue on the sides and the bottom is because the other piece is going to be going over the outside of that, and that is how they're going to be glued together. And I highly recommend a wet glue and a strong glue like Beacon 3-in-1 because you'll need wiggle room to slide everything together, and you want to be sure that it holds. You can use a ruler or a bone folder or whatever you have to put pressure on the bottom and the sides to make sure that there is complete contact. And once that's done, I'm going to cut the corners to the first score line. And to make it easier, you might want to crease all of the folds really good. And then you just cut down all 4 of the corners to the score line, being careful to not go past that first score line. And once I have them all cut, I like to make that little angle cut on the end flaps to make everything fold together easier. And once I get that done, I fold all of the flaps inward again, just making sure that they're really creased well. And then I'm going to glue the end pieces in place first, and then after that I am going to glue the other side flaps in place. You could always make these gift bags without these top flaps, but my original video on this tutorial required a reinforced top for ribbon handles to be attached to, and I liked the idea of having a reinforced top for this one just for the sturdiness. I'll show you the original gift bag here momentarily, but first we have something else we need to do. We have those center score lines on the sides, and they need to be folded in. And now it's starting to look like a gift bag. The dimensions of the gift bag are 4 1/4 inches across and 6 inches tall. And even though I don't show it, it is 2 inches deep. Plenty of room for goodies or a nice little gift. Here is a bag that I made using the original instructions with a ribbon handle. And here is today's gift bag, and for this one we're going to be using a bag topper. I like being able to have options like this. So here's the bag topper that I made, and I'm going to be adhering that to the bag by putting my Beacon 3-in-1 glue on the inside of the back piece and attaching it to the back side of the bag. By the way, I forgot to point out that the back side of the bag is the side where the seams are, and what I mean by seams are the visible edges of the paper. Okay, now if you're wondering how we're going to close the front of it, I will be using Velcro. You can find Velcro in most stores, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Dollar Tree has them. And these little round Velcro pieces attach together, and they already have adhesive backing on them. So I attach them together before removing the release paper, and that way I know that they will be lined up when I attach them to the bag topper. And the reason that I attach them to the bag topper first is to make sure that they're going to be in the right place, and then I just fold that flap over and push it down, and it will attach to the gift bag. And I wanted to add something more to the front of the gift bag, so I'm using the Dainty Dreams Sentiment Dies and Stamp Set. And I chose the frame with the bow and the sentiment, "Life's beautiful because you're in it." And I heat embossed that onto the old rose cardstock with white embossing powder and cut it out with the coordinating die. I think that is so beautiful, don't you? And I decided to use foam tape to attach it to the front of the bag because I wanted to give it a little dimension. I decided to use the butterfly dies, even though I believe the solid one is made to cut out the coordinating stamped image, but I wanted to put these together, and I think they look beautiful together, and I think they look beautiful on the front of the bag. And I even made one for the back of the bag topper to dress that up a little bit. Well, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope that you like my finished gift bag. And don't forget, there'll be a link here on the screen as the video is ending to my other gift bag tutorial, just in case you want to see the instructions a little bit slower. And also links to my videos on using transfer foil without a machine. Oh, and also be sure to check out the description box below, where you will find links to all of the wonderful products that I used today. Thank you all so much for stopping by, and happy crafting, everyone. Bye-bye.